Hi. Welcome to the MP podcast for this week. This is episode 16. I'm Lincoln.
I'm A-Bomb.
Welcome.
16.
We've done 16 episodes. It has
Sweet 16.
It has felt like 336 episodes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, sweet 16. You're right. We're gonna get our podcast a car. We're gonna throw We're gonna throw our podcast like a sweet 16 like party. They're going to make a documentary series about how they're going to...
It's my party and I'll cry if I want to.
Our podcast is going to go birthday Zilla on us and like throw a tantrum because we didn't get her the right... Well, I guess our podcast is a her. We didn't get the podcast the right color car.
Nope.
I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm gonna stop because it's not really a good thing. I want to kick today's show off with a little bit of... like a thing that I saw a few days ago, which I looked up again last night and found out it wasn't true, but there was a rumor going around that I guess was kind of substantiated by TMZ for a little bit, and it kind of like floated around. I don't know if you have this in your notes, but there was a rumor floating around that Kanye was going around telling everybody that Pete Davidson had AIDS.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's not true
that
he's doing that.
Apparently
it's not true. There's sources close to...
That's aggressive.
Yeah. There's sources close to Ye saying that he's not doing that. Like, he's not going around telling people that Pete Davidson has AIDS, which is good because, I mean, that's a level of petty that I don't think we've ever really seen before from really any kind of... I mean, we've seen some pretty petty divorces, but, like, that's rough.
Well, Kanye's done some petty things.
Yeah, of course he has.
Got on the stage, took the mic from Taylor... Beyonce had the best video of the whole universe. And then they pan to her, and she's like,
like she's just standing there with her
frozen.
Award, like, yeah.
Poor Taylor.
Well, not only did he do that, then he went on to say that he built her career, which is not true at all.
I mean, he does say things that are so outlandish that I believe that for a millisecond. I'm glad you looked into it, but. When I read that he was going around saying that Pete Davidson had AIDS, I was like, that actually sounds like something Ye would do. He is bipolar, and we know that he suffers from mental illness. We also know that he doesn't take his pills all the time. He even says that. Yeah. So, I mean, like, could he be on a rant? He could be on a rant. I don't know. Who knows?
No, that's fair.
But I'm glad that he didn't, because that is low, and that is petty.
Well... according to sources close to him that are
he could have said it in passing.
He could have said it
to his homie,
but
like, I bet you that motherfucker's got.
Well, and the way it was presented originally was that it was just like, yeah, Kanye's kind of just telling people, whoever's in earshot, that, you know, Pete Davidson has AIDS, and then there's people in Ye's camp that are like, that's not happening, and it's like, it probably could have happened, and like, now
he could have said it in passing and someone heard it. Who knows?
Totally.
Everybody says things out of anger, disappointment, frustration, whatever. Does that make it right? No, but sometimes we've all been there where we say things that we don't want to, that we don't mean.
Have you watched Uncut Gems yet?
No.
So he's palling around and kind of, it looks like he's in a relationship with Julia Fox, who is in Uncut Gems,
right?
And she's unreal in that movie. She's also very, very, very good looking.
Yeah,
but it's kind of they're. Have you seen any of the photos of like Julia Fox and Kanye together?
Yes.
Like the matching denim outfits,
matching
and like
leather,
and her like black makeup.
Yep. Oh, it's very Kim. It is. The aesthetic is similar.
Fair enough.
The clothing might not be the same, but the aesthetic is pretty similar.
Fair enough. And she said in an interview recently, she was on like a podcast or something, Julia Fox. She was saying how big of a fan of Keeping Up with the Kardashians she was. She was like, she was like, I'm an OG fan and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to miss the show.
I'm sure Kim's really stoked to hear that. She's like, I'm so glad.
Don't think Kim
Me and Julia
gives
besties.
a shit.
Oh.
She is living her best Pete Davidson life.
100%.
Right now. No one gives. She doesn't care.
Do you think that Pete Davidson for a guy is good looking? Because let's just say something. He's been with Ariana Grande. He's been with Kate Beckinsale. who to me is like one of my original crushes from the Underworld series,
And
maybe one of the hottest women in the world.
according to people that I know that have worked with her, she's lovely in person.
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
She's like a
that makes it
lovely,
even better.
lovely person.
But he has dated some bombshells. Now currently dating Kim Kardashian. Whether you think she's hot or not or whatever, I mean,
He has definitely
like, and
been
I feel he's an average-looking guy. He's a guy like you and I would go and hang out with and have wings, and like he, to me anyways, doesn't have like that Hollywood.
He doesn't,
which
and
is
I
fine.
think that's why he's.
Yeah, maybe that's
I
the
think
draw.
I think honestly, I gotta say, I think the draw with Pete Davidson is the fact that he is truly a person that is unafraid to be himself. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
He does not give a shit about vapid things, and I think that's why he's an incredible. He comes across as an incredibly endearing person. I know that he's also got his own mental health issues and whatnot, and that's why he probably isn't with Ariana Grande anymore and isn't with Kate Beckinsale, because I'm sure at first it's like this veil of like, oh my God, you're like so you just like. You have so many tattoos, and like, yeah, you're not like the best looking guy in the world, but like you don't give a shit. Like, you just don't care. And then when that kind of like drops and it's like, oh yeah, you live in, I mean, yeah, okay, you bought a house and you live in your mom's basement, but it's like your house and you're just like, you let your mom live upstairs. And
Yeah.
he's got a pretty sick basement from like the tours I've seen. And stuff
Sure.
like that. I'm sure that doesn't play into it. I'm just being a dick. But I don't know, man. He's not a. That's the thing. He's not conventionally handsome.
Yeah.
He's not. But there's something. He's very charming. and
Yeah,
I
there's
think
probably
that's what-
definitely other things about him.
he also might be like really fucking hung.
Oh, they said that he's
Who?
got like that's.
He's
apparently-
walking around with an absolute
Yeah,
weapon.
Ariana Grande apparently when they were dating, she posted something on Twitter that was like something basically leading to the fact that he's got a giant ding-a-ling. So, I mean,
right.
I don't think maybe that gets you through the door, but it definitely won't make you last.
But I
mean,
think that's why.
Oh, that's fair.
He's
and I
kind
think
of bouncing around.
maybe the fact that because we haven't really seen movie stars, like female movie stars don't really date not good looking or out of the genre of like acting dudes. It's very rare. Like I remember when Elizabeth Taylor married the construction worker. She was like in her like late 60s. I don't know, but she married some young and he was like a construction worker, and they were like obviously didn't last. He probably got a bunch of money out of it, whatever. But it's rare that you see somebody of like, Hollywood royalty dating an average Joe. And that's not a disrespect to him at all. I think it's cool that girls are letting the average guy, he's probably like a really nice dude too. Like, he's like a probably caring, nice dude, and that's probably part of the thing that they like about
high
him.
all the time, just like,
Yeah,
yo,
he's
you
probably
wanna,
chill,
like,
yeah.
hang out, watch like Netflix, and like eat some snacks. Or
Anyways,
something?
kudos to him. He's dated some bombshells, so.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a Kim fan. Like, I don't like Kim.
Aesthetically, I don't think. I mean, I like darker skin, darker hair, but she's not the ideal for me.
No, which one is the one that there's one Kardashian that I think is Khloe.
Khloe?
Is Khloe like
She's
the
like the
really short one?
No, I think that's Courtney.
Okay, Courtney's
like
the one that I
older,
like.
younger,
Chloe's
dating Travis Barker.
Sure. Chloe's the one that
We're talking about the Kardashians.
I
on
know,
our
it's
podcast.
so weird.
We're talking about the Kardashians on our podcast. What happened to us?
I know. It's like all of a sudden we hit episode 16 and we're like, this is now suddenly a Kardashians
This is a
pod.
TMZ podcast.
Yeah. Da-da-da.
That's funny, totally.
No, I just wanted to bring that up because I thought the Kanye thing, because I thought
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was weird and gross. Hey, I can do this. I got a beard trim and it's not catching in the mic anymore.
It's good.
Because my beard and my hair were starting to get pretty ratty, so I decided to get a trim and
Nice.
look a little bit more professional.
I like it. You look good.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it.
I had an interesting start to my day.
Okay. Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
This might be too TMI. We might have to cut this out. I woke up in the middle of the night to go pee.
Okay.
And I was wearing some basketball shorts that have like a really long. It has a really long like tie waistband cord.
Okay.
Anyways, somehow through the night it wrapped around my junk, and so I went to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I pulled down my pants and went to go pee, and it started going over here and over there and then over here and up here, and I was like, what is happening? And I looked down, and the cord had wrapped around my junk, and I didn't know, and I had no control basically when the pee started going. And so I peed all over my bathroom.
Oh my God.
All over my bathroom at like 4 a.m. Not only my bathroom, my shorts, the rug in front of my toilet, my stomach. I peed like on my sink, on the wall.
Oh my God.
So I had to clean that up. That was great. So then when I was cleaning up the pee, I stood up and I bashed my head on my bathroom sink, on the back of my head. I stood up and I didn't know my sink was overhanging. So that was good. It was a solid way to wake up.
So you've been awake since 4 a.m.?
I slept for like an hour, but yeah.
Oh my God.
My bathroom's really clean though.
Well, that's
My bathroom's really clean right now.
Urine is sterile, so you sterilized
But it
your
smells.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, that was a good way to start.
How the hell do you not notice?
I didn't notice
that you were strangulating your dick with your basketball shorts. Also, pardon me, but my next question is: you sleep with basketball shorts
Yeah, I do.
on?
Yeah.
Why? Is that like a?
I don't sleep naked.
Is it like a fear thing that you're like, if there's a fire and I need to escape?
No.
Okay.
No. I think
We're learning so much about each other right now.
From the Kardashians to sleeping naked. No, I can tell you honestly, it happened because when I had a dog, my dog would sleep with me every night. He'd sleep on my bed, and that was like a given. And so I didn't feel comfortable being naked in the bed with him. And that's not sexual. It's just he's a sniffy guy. And I don't need him sniffing my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I think it started from there that I would just wear basketball shorts. Plus, basketball shorts are like pretty much the most comfortable thing ever. So
yeah, fair enough.
But that's kind of where I got that from. And now I think I don't really feel comfortable sleeping naked.
Okay.
I think it's like a comfortability thing.
Fair enough.
You?
Oh,
like nakes?
I can't sleep. Like, I cannot sleep if I'm wearing clothing. Like it's
that's fair.
It feels weird.
Yeah, that's fair.
It feels weird. I like the
freeness.
Yeah, I like the freeness for sure. That's what I'm going to call this episode, from the Kardashians to sleeping naked. No, I like basically like there just being nothing between me and the blanket. And and that transfer of warmth. Like it's weird. Even if I was like cold, I still wouldn't want to. Like Krista's said before, like if I'm cold, she's like, just put like some socks on. Like, what are you doing? Like,
I have one with the
and
world.
I'm like, I cannot do it. I would rather
take me in all my glory.
I would rather put more blankets on. Like I would rather, you know what I mean?
Fair, yeah.
Just put another blanket on top of me, and I'm good to go. No like actual like constrictive clothing, because it's like I've had a lot of I've had sleeps where like, if I'm really tired and I'm in a position where like I'm just like I'm wearing something, and I can just fall asleep, I'll just fall asleep. That's fine, and I'll wake up and my shirt will be like all like strangling me, and like I will wake up and I will take those clothes off and be like, okay, and then go back to sleep. But that doesn't happen very often. Like I'm closer to an insomniac than I am a person that is able to sleep. Krista is like, she's the master of being able to just go to sleep. She can just like get into bed and just like gone. And I'm like, how? I don't understand how
it's a superpower.
It was like within the last 2 weeks. There was one night I'm tossing and turning because like
Do you guys have a king size? King size.
Yeah,
right?
King size bed. I'm tossing and turning I'm usually like tossing and turning till at least 2 a.m. at least.
Yeah.
Where it's just like I'm comfortable, but I just can't fall asleep
yeah.
because the motor in my head is just going nonstop. And I think that's why I'm so tired all the time.
100%.
Is that my brain is just always, and because I'm constantly coming up with ideas and like trying to like figure shit out, or if I'm like anxious about something, if I'm anxious about something, I will not sleep. Yeah. Anyway, we're in bed and she's like out, she's gone, and I'm rolling around, and then finally I roll over again, and she's already been asleep for probably like 2 or 3 hours, and she's like, she wakes up and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just like having trouble sleeping or whatever." And she's like, "Yeah, that's okay." Not more than 6 seconds later, and she remembers this. She remembers talking to me. Not more than 6 seconds later, she's like,
out. Like
gone.
Wow.
And I'm like, how do you do that? How? I hate you for being able to do that. I wish, you get on, people that get on planes and are just like, oh my God,
for me, it's that white noise. Yeah. For me, it's that white noise that like.
And for me, I get on a plane and I'm just like,
I know,
a ball of anxiety and I can't do anything. I'm just like, I want the whole, I'm like, I want off this thing. I want to be able to. I've had a few flights where I've slept through the whole flight, and those have been the best flights of my life, where I literally go, and the flight's over, and I'm like, how? I'm like, those flights make me want to cry because I'm so happy. Yes. I'm like, yes, this is how flying was meant to happen.
No doubt. You're out like a light. I remember one time flying to California, we were going down to eat burgers or whatever, and me and my buddies, we all drank the night before, got on the plane, sitting 3 in a row, and all 3 of us passed out before we even took off. And then as we landed, we get from the stewardess, and I literally was like, huh? And she's like, put your stuff up, or put your stuff, whatever, we're landing. And I was like, we're here? She's like, yeah, you guys were out. All 3 of you were out. She's like, drink service. Didn't even answer me. Like, you guys were out. And we were like, okay, sweet. Like, the best. There's no better feeling. Because you're just like, it's almost like you
transported.
You transported there. And you were like, there was no problems.
Yeah. If I could honestly travel in a way that I'm like transported in a pod where they put me to sleep, and then I wake up at my destination.
Like all space horror movies start off with.
Yes. And suddenly there's xenomorphs. Like, you're like, no. I've got Sigourney Weaver's hair, and I'm just, oh no.
You're the only pod that wasn't broken on transport.
I was flying to Tokyo. Why am I in space? No, but honestly, if I could travel in a pod, even on a no, I don't want to travel like that on a boat. Wake up like a month later, like I've been in a coma, and I'm just like, my head's spinning because of the waves of the ocean. I'm just like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like what? And they're like, oh,
I don't think boat travel is ever ideal for long distances.
Yeah, and like while you were asleep, the U.S. burned itself to the ground, and like they're no longer a country.
We're now colonizing Mars. So.
Oh my God! Yeah, we're colonizing. Yeah, Elon Musk figured out how to colonize Mars.
He was like, "Yo, fuck this planet."
Yeah, I wake up on Mars because they're like, you were already in the pod asleep, so we just kind of brought you with us because it wasn't
my wife.
It wasn't any extra to like put you through the program to put you to sleep. Like you already did it.
We ushered you in.
Yeah, because your anxiety, you didn't want to fucking wake you up. We didn't want to freak you out. So hey, welcome to Mars. The Earth died like 1,000 years ago. You just didn't want to get out of bed.
No. So have fun.
My wife. Yeah. Be like, oh my God. I like my wife, my dogs, everyone I love. Everyone I love is gone.
That's like every space movie,
but
too.
I'm on Mars.
Like when you're in space, time
like,
moves so slow for you.
Yeah.
But back home.
Yeah. My first question would be like, did Matt Damon make it?
Totally. Did Trump win again?
Did Ben Affleck? Did they make it out okay?
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck? Yeah, did Trump win again? Oh my God! Did you? I don't want to talk.
Trump.
I don't want to talk politics.
No Trump.
He held
politics.
a rally in Texas this weekend, and it's like, oh my God, that shit's
I did hear too
Getting out
that
of
Hillary's
hand again.
thinking about running again.
I don't
And if
care.
2024 is
Oh
Hillary
my
and Trump, I'm going to Mars. I'm going to Mars. That's all we'll say about that.
There's no way it could be. That is so that's so stupid, and it just like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
I mean, who knows if it's true and who knows if it'll happen.
But why? But I'm sorry, if the Democratic Party was stupid enough to let her give her the nomination again,
yeah.
and go up against Trump again, like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. It's just
you deserve everything that's coming to you.
Yeah, for sure. They need somebody else.
No, again, I don't want to talk politics.
We're talking politics.
No politics. No, that's stupid. What else do you have on your list?
What else do we got? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Are there any, like, so when you're on YouTube
Yeah.
and you're scrolling around.
I don't watch a lot of YouTube.
Oh, you don't?
I make YouTube. I don't watch.
Yeah,
a lot.
no, that's fair.
That's not true.
I'm
I
making
watch
a YouTube.
I watch some. I mean, I shouldn't say that I don't watch any because I do watch some, but it's like I have. I don't want to derail what you're about to say, but like I wanted to kind of. I was thinking about this yesterday, in fact, where, because I finished Yellow Jackets. Like I watched the whole. Yeah,
nice.
But I didn't binge watch it. I watched like 1 or 2 episodes a day, which I don't do.
That's what I do. Smart.
Yeah, like I did more of an Adam thing on that. But Euphoria, I binged watched Euphoria. So right now I'm kind of like, I go through spurts of like, I'm going to watch new stuff. And then when I get bored of new stuff or I run out of new stuff, I go back to old stuff. Or pardon me, I'm binging podcasts, or I'm binging YouTube videos, or I'm binging. I go through like binging.
So your phases.
Yeah. So right now, what I'm trying to do, because I have like a very finite amount of time when I'm not actually working and creating, that I'm trying to not just fall into the trap of like, oh, I'm throwing on The Office in the background and just like, you know, like watching The Office for like the 17,000th time. I'm actually trying to watch newer stuff and take in newer content. But I've realized that like I have friends message me constantly where they're like, have you watched this? Have you watched this? Have you watched this? Have you watched this?
But you're the have you watched this guy?
I know, but I'm like,
everybody.
I can't be right now because it's like I don't
But
have
you
time.
are. I know, but you are because you know everything.
There is an overabundance of content. It is
That's true.
ridiculous. At this point, there was a point in my life where I thought, you know, like I'll probably be able to watch everything I ever want to watch in my life. Right now, I can't yet, but I have to come to terms with the fact that I will not be able to watch every single thing that I want to before the day I die, because new stuff is generated every single day. Old stuff is sitting there waiting for me to watch it, but it's like Jared asked me, my buddy Jared, he was like, have you seen Nobody yet? Like the one with Bill Odenkirk or whatever.
Okay.
Bill Odenkirk.
I've seen the
where he's getting like punched.
Yeah.
That movie, I wanted to see that movie in theaters, and now it's on Crave. It's lit. I've had it on my server forever, and now it's literally sitting there on Crave, ready for me to watch. Still haven't watched it because I can't. Because I'm like, I need to. Like I'm trying to prioritize the time that I'm spending, in like, you know, not a productive way, but I just mean like my leisure time in terms of like whether I'm watching something or whether I'm playing a game.
You have to prioritize.
I'm prioritizing.
I understand.
Because I don't play a lot of video games either.
Yeah.
But like recently I was saying I was playing Far Cry, and like I want to play those Spider-Man games for PlayStation because I've heard they're really good, and it's like I just have to, you know, make sure that I'm prioritizing my time so that I'm able to do it, because 9 times out of 10 I'm just like, I would rather work or think about work.
Totally, 100%.
So
I always think back to like when we were growing up and there was no streaming services. Obviously there's Blockbusters and all that kind of stuff, but like how you and I, if we would have to wait for Wednesdays for Friends to come out, and then we would have to wait for Fridays for maybe another one of our shows to come out, and then that was it. There was no way for you to be able to stream anything, to watch anything. If you had a show that you wanted to watch, you had to wait for the day for it to be on. And then even then, we got to the where we could set our VCRs to tape it if we weren't home, or you had to watch it basically at that moment.
Yeah. So for me,
And it's just crazy how far we've come from that to being
Totally.
like, I have 2 shows a week that I watch, where the rest of the 5 days I'm doing whatever else. To now it's like every night you're watching something that is, that you want to watch, or a show that you're into.
So when I was growing up, so when I was a kid in that era that you're talking about, I would kind of watch what was ever on TV. I didn't necessarily have.
Right, you would scroll and stuff like.
Well,
obviously.
I just didn't like when you say like the Friends and like the certain sitcoms and stuff like that. Like especially in that era, like when Friends was. I didn't actually start watching Friends until it had ended, and I had the entire series on DVD.
Right.
So like for me, I found especially that sitcom like Seinfeld. Obviously catching episodes and reruns and stuff like that, but I never watched the entire run end to end until like the home DVD releases.
Right, and that was kind of
happened.
the first start of being able to binge watch things. Was the release of series of TV shows on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
That was never really a thing. You couldn't go and get a video cassette of Knots Landing or whatever you wanted to watch.
Yeah, because like
they wouldn't even release it that way. That show would premiere and end, and then that was it. You either watched it or you didn't.
Yeah, with like say for instance, like you remember the OC?
Oh yeah.
So the OC, like I remember watching the pilot, like when it premiered on, I want to say it was Fox.
WB.
I think it was Fox.
Fox. Okay.
I think it was a Fox show. And I was like, oh okay, like I could see myself watching this show and like seeing a few more episodes and being like, oh, like I really enjoy the show, and then constantly forgetting to watch,
For sure.
pardon me, episodes. So then it's like, then they release the whole season on DVD, and you're like, okay, I like this way because that's where the binge watching started for me. You're right. So I would buy the season and then I would watch the whole thing, and I'd be like, okay. So I once streaming started, like obviously I have a pretty big DVD collection still, but once streaming started, it was just kind of like, oh my God, like this is heaven. But it's also like,
because it's like at your pace.
Well, I
streaming.
think the biggest problem with it, especially for me and my ADHD, is the overwhelming abundance of choice. I have a hair that's like tickling me in my nose, and it's so annoying. Sorry, the overwhelming abundance of choice.
Right.
It is so hard to just pick something because, and I don't know if this is probably not the same for you, because you would probably just like, you wouldn't sit there scrolling for 2 hours trying to pick something.
Never know. I'm not good at choosing either, dude.
I hate this.
I wanted Netflix to have a random button forever, and then they finally have one.
Yeah, they have one now.
Finally do. But then I random, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. Just saw that. No.
Yeah.
No.
See, and I don't trust the random enough to even like hit that.
It just
button.
promotes their own shows.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it does.
Yeah. It's not. They're never going to give you like Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Or, no, I know that.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, I cannot. What is it? Kristen and I drove out to get like coffee at Tim Hortons or whatever, just to kind of get out of the house for 5 minutes. Got back, and on the way back, I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like having like a '90s movie marathon today. I was like, I kind of feel like watching like a Kevin Smith movie or something, or like something I haven't watched in a while, like going back to the well a little bit. And we got back to the house, and I was just like, okay. I was looking at all the movies that I could pick, like, and then it was like, okay. And then I was jumping to Netflix, and I'm like, okay. I was jumping to Crave. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And she was like, and I was like, I just don't know. And she was like, I thought you said you wanted to watch, like, just put a Kevin,
specific.
Like, put a Kevin Smith movies on.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I was like, you're right. And I just like, I went back and I threw on Chasing Amy, and then it was just like, it was mostly on in the background, and like I didn't even end up finishing it because I had some other stuff I needed to do. But it's just like, that's kind of what they've bred, is just this overwhelming environment where there's too much shit to watch. Yeah. We're never like, a friend texted me yesterday. He's like, watch Archive 81. Actually, multiple people have messaged me to say, hey, watch Archive 81. And I'm like, okay.
That didn't like. I watched the trailer.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I know it's like something to do with VHS tapes or something like that.
It's a horror movie of like found VHS tapes.
Yeah, well, it's a series, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I read like the tagline, and I was like, that looks interesting. And then I've had multiple people say, dude, watch Archive 81, and I was like, okay. But again, it's like These are people that have kids who just like hang out with their kids and like watch stuff, and you know, whether or not it's stuff they should be watching with their kids is neither here nor me. But no, honestly, like for the most part, it's like they're kind of like that's their lives. Like they do their work, and then when they go home, they relax and watch TV.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I'm constantly in work mode. Sorry, I did completely derail what you were about to say.
No, it's fine.
The YouTube thing. When I'm scrolling, what were you saying? When you're scrolling through YouTube?
I was just scrolling through YouTube this past weekend, and I got hooked on a genre of video that I never thought that I would be hooked on.
Okay.
And so, are you a fan? Like, can you watch the pimple popper videos? Like, are you a fan of that kind of like?
I can watch it without. Yeah, like I can watch it, but I'm not seeking it out. Like it doesn't. I know there's people that are like really into it where they're like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not one of those people that's like really into it.
Okay.
I'm indifferent to it.
Yeah,
like, I can watch it.
I kind of am squeamish when it comes to like personal body things. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to be like an EMT. I wanted to be an ambulance driver, not an EMT. I just wanted to drive the ambulance really fast. And then when I found out that you had to like help people who were bleeding too, I was like, no, I'm good. I don't want to do that anymore.
I don't like blood.
But I came across these videos, and they're cow hoof cleaning videos.
Oh, okay.
It's so random, so weird, but I feel like I get the same feeling that people get when I watch these videos that people who watch Dr. Pimple Popper and all those videos get. It's like a satisfaction.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's satisfying.
So this guy like he owns a farm. There's tons of guys who do this video, but the cows get like ingrown stuff in their hooves and stuff, and they have to clean them. So they have this machine where they like put the hooves up, and then he like cleans it, and he like pulls out all these weird things, and like it's fucking gross. And it's
like gunk and manure and like yeah.
But the process of cleaning it, and he like shaves it down with this sharp thing, and then if they have like a hurt cuticle inside that's been building up, he has to like pop it and like clean it. And watching it, it's not, even though it's gross, like there's like blood and pus and whatever, I'm not like grossed out by it for me. So
because it's an animal.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the difference.
Yeah, because it's an animal, I think.
And I know also that the animal's not being injured.
Yes.
You know?
No, it's helpful for the animal.
It's very helpful for the animal. So I got addicted to what I literally spent like an entire afternoon watching like video after cleaning a cow's hoof and cleaning this thing out of house.
Your algorithm's going to be all over the fucking place. Holy shit. I know exactly what you're talking about because I've come across similar videos on my Facebook where they're doing horseshoe replacement on horses' hooves.
Sick. Yeah.
So it's like it's kind of the same thing where they're pulling the old horseshoe off, they're cleaning the gunk out of the horse's like hoof, they're shaving it down, they're kind of like shaping the nail, they're like making a new horseshoe, heating it up, singeing it on the they have to like apply it to the horse's hoof while it's pardon me, god damn it, hot, so that it marks it or something. So
Fair
that
enough.
I don't know, whatever it is, and then they like literally
hammer it in. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got just like little nails that they nail it in with, and like horseshoeing is like a whole process, and it's actually like it's helpful for the horse. It's helpful for domesticated horses. I guess wild horses don't need it because they
just chew them.
Do they chew them? Oh my god. They chew their nails. I was actually trying to figure out how
do they chew them.
Well, I was in my head. I'm like, how the hell do they get how do they get their hoof up to their mouth? Oh my god! I thought, do they like lay down and then they just go?
They get their friend to do it for them. They're like, here, chew, go.
Oh my god! Sorry. No, it's a whole process, and it is helpful for domesticated horses.
Definitely, yeah.
Wild horses, I guess theirs just kind of wear down.
I don't know. Like
naturally.
I always think about that too.
Yeah.
Like the things that we do for domesticated animals, and then in the wild, what happens? Like
I guess it's crazy. Just like it's kind of like they're just naturally accustomed.
Maybe they just naturally wear down.
Yes.
Or once maybe once a horseshoe is applied, you have to kind of keep doing it. Maybe that's like the thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once you first applied on, maybe now you have to keep doing it for the horse's sake.
Yeah,
Whereas
you
if
do.
you never did it, the horse would just naturally take care of it itself. Maybe, I don't know. There's a horseshoeing expert out there. Hit us up in the comments.
That I'm not sure about.
But I know what
it's,
you mean.
Yeah, because I know that it's better for like, especially if you're gonna have horses walking on pavement.
Right.
Horseshoes are much better
Totally. Makes
for
sense.
the horses and stuff like that. So
Makes sense, yeah.
I don't know. It's funny that that's kind of what you fell into.
Yeah,
But
so random.
it's weird how our brains work when we see that kind of thing. Like I remember at one point I fell into the trap of you know those you've probably, I mean, we've all seen those videos by now where those dudes literally like they've got like they're in the jungle and they've got like an open patch of dirt, and then they like cut a bunch of trees down and then they start digging a hole, and then all of a sudden by the end of the video they've got this like mansion with a water slide that they've dug into the earth with a pool.
Yeah, that's
and, like,
so rad.
dude,
I've watched
those videos are so cool.
so rad. I was like, how'd they know?
Yeah, and they like
build it right here,
build little
natural
huts
springs.
and oh my god,
So cool.
Yeah, and they're like running their own irrigation systems with like bamboo and like
Totally.
in the dirt and stuff like yeah. It's
So
just
cool.
Those videos are so fun to watch, and I have spent days like I've fallen into a trap where I've spent days watching.
Where
those
you're
videos.
just like,
oh yeah, and it's because
it's like, what do we find about them that's so fascinating? Hey,
well, it's satisfying.
yeah, it is. There's
It's
something satisfying
there's
about
really
it.
there's something people like satisfying things, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's the whole thing. Like if I were to like pour out like a pile of sand here and then take a vacuum and just slowly start vacuuming it up and like watching it like get sucked
Get the
in.
close up of it.
Yeah, like getting sucked
up.
into the vacuum.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody out there would be like, oh,
Yo, we are in the wrong business.
oh, you know, like, yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
Join our sand sucking site, please. Our new YouTube channel.
Only sand.
Suckers YYC.
Only sands.
Only sands.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna start my
good.
only sands. Yeah, I don't know.
I've always wanted to play with the magic sand that you see like on TikTok, where like people like cut it. They can like physically cut the sand and then they like pull it apart. It has like that
Yeah, the kinetic sand.
crazy
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
texture. It looks so
That shit
cool.
you can get it at the. Well, you can make it yourself too, but you can get it at the, like Science Center and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's rad. I've just never touched it before.
Okay,
It
well
looks so
maybe
cool.
maybe we have to take Adam on a field trip and go to the Science Center.
Hercules.
You want to go to Science Center and go get a
Yeah,
go
Dada.
get-
Yeah,
you wanna-
Dada. Yeah.
Daddy want to get kinetic
Cotton
sand?
candy.
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy.
Okay, do you know what it's time for?
Euphoria Corner.
It's the horniest show on the planet.
I bet you some
Euphoria
people are
Corner, Euphoria Corner. I really hope we're pushing people to watch this show as long as you're 18 and over, because this show, Krista's now just, she's on, we finished episode 5 with her last night because she's like, she only wants to watch it with
Episode 5 of the first season.
Yeah. I'm
I'm so jealous.
I know, I'm rewatching it with her, and she's like, she's super
Actually,
far
there's
behind
only
it.
episode 6, which is the end, and then 7, 8, which are the Christmas. Okay.
No.
Isn't it?
Nope.
Or just go 8,
8, and then 9, 10 with
Okay,
Christmas.
That's right.
And
That's
now-
right. That's right. That's right.
And now we've got 4. Like last night was episode 4 of Euphoria.
What are her thoughts?
She hasn't watched any.
No. Of what she's watched so far.
Oh, she agrees. I'm like, this is the horniest show on planet ever made, and she's like, she agrees. She's like, oh yeah, this is
That's fair. That's good.
horniest show ever. It's without. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers as to what, because not everybody will have watched the new episode. If you do watch Euphoria, but what I will say is, I loved the usage of that Sinead O'Connor song.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Also,
Wait.
Oh.
Let's expand on that for a second. Let's just talk about the music in this show.
Oh,
Period.
period. Yeah.
Whoever did the music for this show, unbelievable. And I've always been under my personal opinion about music in any media is that it has to fit. Like there has to be some, and I've been in movies where I'm like, they're playing this song at the opening, or they're playing this song during them going to school. Like, I'm always really judgmental about the music because it really can make or break a movie or a scene or any kind of media you're watching. The music really breaks it. This show, the sound and the music in this show is unbelievable and used so well, both so fittingly to like moments and to vignettes that you see. Like, the music is one of the many components of the show that is just unbelievable.
Both the original music and the
soundtrack.
The soundtrack to the show. Yeah. That whole, I mean, it's so funny. We kind of talking almost like we're in on it because you guys haven't watched it yet, but you'll understand once you do get to this point. I can't wait to see where the Feds stuff goes because they weren't in much in this episode. But there was that one little bit. I can't wait to. That's gonna go
fucking word.
Yeah.
Word.
Word. That's just gonna go crazy.
I kill what I eat. I kill what I eat.
His entire monologue. I was mouth agape going, what the fuck, that whole time. That was the best way. Like, the end of that episode is amazing. But the beginning of that episode is also incredible.
Best opening sequence of the show.
All of that, my favorite. Which of all of those did you think was my favorite?
Oh, I'm just trying to think back to how many there were.
There was
like 6 or 7.
No. I don't even think there was that many. There was a few though.
Well, I don't think this is your favorite, but I don't know. Titanic?
No. That one was good, but my favorite was the Brokeback Mountain.
Oh,
because it was perfect. It was
I forgot about that.
Perfect.
I haven't seen that movie.
Really?
In the tent, is it like that?
Yes.
Like, that was so aggressive.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They played it perfect.
Because I didn't know, and I was like, "Were they fucking like?" Oh.
They were playing off. They were.
Because I've seen that where he puts his arm around it. Like, I've seen all that.
Yeah. Those are two totally different scenes.
Right. Okay.
And I don't think, like, they kind of combined a couple different instances. Where the scene in the tent comes before where he puts his arm around him.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh,
but
okay.
they kind of just made their own little scene out of it, but they played it so perfect. Literally,
that was amazing.
The scene in the tent, it's shot the exact same way.
Wow.
It happens the exact, like, they're both, they start like fighting and then they start kissing
weird.
and yeah.
Okay.
It's
that's cool.
It's
that's cool.
Like you say, it's aggressive, but it's like it literally happens that way. In the movie. It's so that was my favorite part of the whole thing because they like played it so perfect and it looked exactly like the movie.
I was trying to say what movie references there were, and Titanic was one.
Well, I don't want to say all of them.
No.
Like,
but that was one of the few ones.
Yeah. The Titanic one was really good too, but that was not my like that one was really
so
done.
funny.
But the Brokeback Mountain one was my favorite.
That's so funny.
All in all, yesterday's this Euphoria Corner, I hate it because I want to do Euphoria Corner, but I also don't want to give away spoilers because we record the day after it comes out. Not everybody has a chance to watch it. Honestly, what I can say about that episode is that they spent a lot of time in season 1 really letting us get to know, these characters, and they are using season 2 to blow them all the hell up. Oh my God, are they blowing them the hell up?
Yeah.
The last time I had a stress level like this watching a TV show was Breaking Bad.
This is exactly what I wanted to say. Was this last episode was so uncomfortable, so stressed out. Everybody was so drunk. There's no other episode where everybody is wasted.
Fucked up. Oh my God, they're all
just like. It was crazy. There has been no episode in the show like this. I watched the show like this for most of it. Like, literally covering my eye because it was so, the tension and the stress was so well played.
When I messaged you to ask you if you had watched it yet, I was in the tub. Like, I took a bath because I was like, I ate way too much sugar yesterday. And so I was like feeling jittery and like fucking like all like just kind of feel and I'm
funny.
feeling jittery but also like sick, and I was like I'm gonna crash really hard, so I was like I need to go like sit in the tub and like
Nice. Like just chill.
well yeah, because I've been
zen
like
down.
yeah, like I've been this has nothing to do with Euphoria, but I've been getting back on the treadmill recently, and like I've been doing it almost every day. But yesterday I like ate like garbage, so I was like, I'm like, if I get on the treadmill right now, I'm going to throw up.
flex day.
But it's been nice because I've been like watching like Yellow Jackets and stuff while I'm on the
Nice.
treadmill. But
Perfect.
anyway,
Yeah.
so I was in the tub watching it, and when I texted you
Yeah.
to ask if you had watched yet, and I was like, holy fuck, I hadn't even hit like Cal's part yet.
Oh, okay.
So I was already, and but that was it. I was feeling incredibly stressed out, and I'm like, I need to text Adam because he'll understand what I'm going through if he's seen the episode. And then when you were like, I'm actually making snacks. I'm just about to watch it. I was like,
You're like, I have
was
no
like,
one to talk
I'm
to.
alone.
You're alone.
I have no one to talk to about this. So I was like, all right,
man.
I'll leave it, because I wanted to like we'll talk about it after the episode. But I mean, I wanted to like talk about it last
my
night where I
God.
could be like, oh my God, I need to like unburden myself with this because it's so fucking stressful. There's a lot of people that are like on the groups, some of the Facebook groups that I follow, that are like fed up with the show, and they're like, it's just like fucking, it's too much, and
That's
it's like
totally
the
dope.
writing's super
When a
shit.
show gets to that level and that people are really like watching it, there's always going to be people that are like, I hate that show.
And whether or not the writing is not that great, I think the writing's actually like pretty on point, and I think the acting is superb. Not only that, the way the show is put together and the way that they're building
So
up
many
this
components,
tensions and
yeah.
stuff like that is absolutely superb, and it's so well put together. Another thing I want to point out, because now that I'm watching season 2 and season 1 simultaneously,
Yeah.
something I noticed, Eric Dane, who plays Cal, he lost a bunch of weight,
Oh, okay.
or he stopped drinking or something, because I noticed, we watched the episode in season 1 last night where he goes to the high school because they find Maddie's neck is all
Yeah.
bruised from Nate choking her.
Yeah.
And having gotten out of the tub from just watching Cal like in his monologue there.
Nate didn't choke her. I'm just kidding.
No, but like going from
yeah.
that monologue
Yeah.
to like, and where you're seeing his face a whole bunch, and then going to seeing him a whole bunch in that episode, and like his face looks puffier and his eyes are a little bit more
Yeah.
closed, and he's like, his face looks bigger.
I can see
even.
that. Yeah.
In season 2, his face, he looks slimmer. He doesn't look as like built. He looks a little bit like less jacked, and his face looks slimmer.
That's fair. I can see that he had more of a dad bod in the first season.
Well, and it's
this
also
one, he's
been
a little bit more.
Well, they
like-
also shot it in 2018.
Oh yeah. And who knows what other things he was shooting?
Well-
He's an actor, so he could be shooting. We need you to be bigger,
But I mean
smaller.
the pandemic. The pandemic.
Oh,
He
100%.
probably like hung out at home and just like worked
Like everyone else,
Because
yeah.
like the thing when you're an actor, so like he leaves Grey's Anatomy and he's probably like, okay, like he gets killed off of Grey's Anatomy. Oh, spoiler.
I didn't even know he was in that show.
Yeah, so that he was McSteamy. That's where he came from. So he was on the show.
really?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
McSteam. Oh, McDreamy. Who was that?
that's Patrick.
So there was
Patrick,
more. There's
yeah.
McDreamy and McSteamy.
Yeah, so McDreamy was Patrick Dempsey.
You're McDreamy.
I'm McDreamy.
Yeah, I'm McSteamy.
No, I'm McSteamy.
You wanna
I
be-
want to be Eric Dane.
Okay, fine.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I'm Daddy.
Don't you forget it.
I'm Daddy. Fuck, you derailed me on what I was trying to
Sorry.
fucking say. He always does this. I'm trying to make a point, and he fucking like throws me off into something else where he's like, "You're McDreamy." Like he's trying to compliment me. Stop apologizing. It's fine.
But you
What
were
the fuck
you were
was
saying
I-
that he was bigger in
Oh,
season one.
sorry. Yeah. He's bigger. So, because he was fucking jacked in Grey's Anatomy too. He was also younger then too. But anyway, he leaves Grey's Anatomy, and then as an actor, you probably don't have like, I mean, you're still making that Grey's Anatomy money because. I mean, he was on it for.
I was gonna
think
say,
he
was
was
he
on
on
it.
the show
He
for
was
a
on
while?
there for like 8 years. Or
Oh,
something.
okay,
He
so
was on
yeah.
there for a while.
Wow. Okay.
At least 8 or 9 years. And he was a big part of the show, and it was a huge thing when he got killed off because they died in it was like a plane crash thing, and like
Oh, shit.
yeah, and like him and the girl that he was in love with on the show, like their characters, they both died.
Jeez.
But
John
they
F. Kennedy Jr. and his
They
wife.
survive the plane crash. And they die in the woods.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, it was like
Lost and Survivor. And
yeah. Grey's Anatomy's gone off.
Did he eat her?
No,
Cannibalism.
Yeah, goes all
Slight cannibalism.
goes all fucking alive on it.
No, what was it? Intended cannibalism.
Well, we haven't got.
No, I was just thinking that was funny. Anyways,
fucking.
he gets killed off. They live in the woods.
So anyway, you leave Grey's Anatomy, and then as an actor, I'm sure you're kind of like, okay, like looking for some roles and like trying to figure it out, and like maybe not like working out as hard, or maybe working still. I don't know. Like he definitely. When you're taking your pilot season, right? For any actors, you're just kind of like, you'll go and you'll do pilot. I'm sure he's done other pilots.
For
he's
sure,
done
that never got picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it's probably another thing where like, okay, I'm gonna do this like Euphoria thing where going into it, he's like, yeah, this is like a super. This could be like a big thing for me, like, because it's a really fucking dramatic part of me role for him,
totally,
in that show, and he kills it. So. Yeah, maybe going into the show, he was like just kind of living off that Grey's Anatomy money and just kind of like flying under the radar. And now that Euphoria's blown up the way it has, and he's like no longer Eric Dane from Grey's Anatomy. Right. He's now Eric Dane from Euphoria.
Cal. Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably like, all right, let's.
But as an actor, I think like when you think about his character and his role, like it's such a juicy part. Like it's such a well-written, juicy part, and his family is so well organized with the writing and how it's all played out. The actor, like that's what I mean when the show has so many components that line up, in my personal opinion, to make it such a good show, which is like the acting and the writing and the way it's shot and the music, and like all these components play so well together to give you really the best like watching experience.
There's a lot of things they said. The best example I can give is that there of like a show doing this so poorly is like Euphoria sets up so many characters at the beginning of it. Like from the very first episode, you are meant to care about so many fucking characters.
Totally.
Granted, from the pilot doesn't necessarily mean that all of their storylines or anything like that would have necessarily panned out.
Right.
Like right now, we don't know where the fuck McKay is. Also, I was going to ask, when did McKay and Cassie's relationship end? Like, did we actually see that end, or did it just kind of end off screen?
No.
We can talk about it later, but
in the pool house at the party, when they go into the room and he goes to try and have sex with her.
Oh, okay.
And she turns him down.
Oh.
And what she said a line. She said
it's
something.
in like episode 8, isn't it?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just giving you that reference.
I'll have to. I mean, I will get there and I will watch it. I must have just missed it. Anyway.
No McKay, no Kat. Kat's been in 2 episodes. Like nothing about her storyline. Nothing really. Last night you find out she's annoyed with Ethan. That's it.
Which we already know, but her episode's coming. We know that. Yeah. So they kind of set this up in a way where it's like they give themselves the longevity because not every episode is going to be about every single character. Right. So that you're kind of like, for instance, if you're like, you really want to know what's going on with Kat, well, you're going to watch every episode to find out what happens to Kat. But along the way, you're going to find out what happens with everybody else, whether you like them or not. The way they set it up with so many characters and the way it all interweaves and like their lives are kind of like interwoven and all, like, you know what I mean? A show that did that incredibly poorly right from the get-go was True Detective Season 2. Did you ever... True Detective Season 2 only tried to set us up with 4 characters off the hop, but they were doing it in that show was doing it in such a way that they were trying to set up something so far beyond those 4 characters and the way that shit was all interwoven that by the time, and trying to do it within 1 season, that by the time you get to episode 6, they still haven't even properly set everything up. Like, you don't give a shit about anything going on. So that's what I really like about Euphoria, is that they nailed it in terms of like giving you who these people are, like right off the bat. And initially you're like, I love Rue, I love Jules. You get enough of Maddie, you get enough of Nate, you get enough of McKay, you get enough of like everybody else, where you're just kind of like, I kind of know who these people are, and I kind of want to see where this goes. True Detective season 2 did not give us that. That's, again, I'm
just
only
in comparison to how I understand.
I'm only using that as an example
yeah.
of like something that was trying to be so much bigger,
Yeah.
knowing that it was only going to be one season,
Right.
and only one season of like 8 episodes,
Right.
where it just kind of like, oh man, because True Detective season 1 is so good.
The thing, I think the difference from season 1 to season 2 of True Detective was, not only did you have the stellar performances by Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, who not only are amazing on their own, but had this insane chemistry together, that you couldn't take your eyes off of them when they had scenes together. But outside of that, what were they trying to do? Solve the creepiest killer crime thing with weird houses and bones, and that aspect of the show also kept you engaged, because they're trying to solve this crime and you're trying to figure out what is going on and who are these people and why is this
The
creepy?
mystery of it.
Yeah, and the mystery was part of the thing that brought you into the show. In season 2, you had none of that. You had 4 characters where you're supposed to get into it, don't know what the problem is until way later. Yeah, I tapped out. Like, I watched 2 episodes and I was like, this is not
I was
for me.
so bummed too, because I like Colin Farrell, I like Vince Vaughn,
Sure.
I like Tyler. I think it was Tyler Sheridan. Like, I like all of the people that they had put into it, and I liked what they were trying to do. But Pizzolatto, just like, he's the guy who created the show, he just complicated it too much, and I feel like he got. I agree everything you're saying. I agree with every single thing you're saying about True Detective season 1, except that when you get to the end of that season, it's kind of underwhelming in terms of like,
there's a large buildup for not a big payoff.
There's not a big payoff, and I think
I agree.
It almost, in a tragic way, works so well for that show, because it's like they're setting this up. We're kind of finding out as the audience, as Rust is telling the story, and they're showing the flashbacks of them working together, and it's like kind of going back, where it's like he's like embellishing the narrative almost, as he's like an unreliable narrator, where he's kind of like he's more building up the supernatural aspect, which is like, as an audience, we're kind of like, what? We're looking at the mystery going like, what the fuck is going on here? And like, when you finally get to the end of that, and it's literally like they find the guy, they arrest him, and it's just kind of like over. It kind of like, it's I want to believe that it was purposeful, that it falls a little bit flat, only in the sense that it was just like, it kind of brings that whole aspect of it back to reality, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, this wasn't supernatural. It was literally just a human guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I could be reading into that too much, and it could just be like they didn't know how to end. Like, Pizzolatto didn't know how to end it, and he just kind of like
or that's how he wrote it,
or
that's
like he just got lucky.
Yeah.
But then I look at season 2 and I go like, oh, because that was my feeling of season 1, and then I look at season 2 and I go, oh, I don't know if I might be giving him too much credit. Like, oh my god, I still to this day have not watched season 3.
Me neither.
It's got Mahershala Ali in the lead.
And he's amazing.
He's amazing, and I know that it's kind of the same.
We should watch it, actually.
I should.
We should add that to your friggin' list.
Actually, you know what? I started episode 1, and then something happened, and I got distracted, and I haven't gone back.
Yeah.
I know that it kind of does the same thing, where it flashes forward and flashes back, where it's like him as an old man, and then a case that he was trying to solve in the past, and like,
that's not bad. I kind of like those kind of ideas.
Fargo is a series that did that pretty well, but they did it in a way that it was like they did 3 seasons. Did you watch any?
Never.
No, sorry, they did.
Did they do way more than that?
No, they did 4 seasons. They did 4 seasons, but I haven't watched season 4. Why the hell I forgot about season 4? We'll get to that in a second. They shot the first 3 seasons here in Calgary. The 4th season, they didn't come back to Calgary.
Oh.
Because it was closer to the pandemic, actually. And I can't remember if it was like, I can't remember if they were originally going to come here and then the pandemic forced them to stay in the States. Anyway, I believe Fargo season 4 has Chris Rock in it.
Okay.
And now I'm trying to think, did that actually, I don't know if that was a fever. Like,
Crazy.
I don't know if that actually happened or not.
Huh.
I don't know if I have to, you can look it up if you want. That's fine. But I think, Fargo season 1, 2, and 3. I love all of them. I think they're great. They got great actors for all of it. It's a great adaptation of the movie without being like a direct adaptation of like what happened in the movie. They didn't just take what happened in the movie and
you're right.
put it on the screen. Like
Chris Rock, Jason Schwartzman.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I have Fargo season 4.
Salvatore Esposito, Jesse Buckley.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, so
that wasn't a fever dream.
I guess it actually happened. And the reason I didn't really know anything about it is because they didn't shoot it here. Whereas the other 3, was like I knew anyway.
Yeah.
Season 1 obviously takes place in. I think it took place in like a present day, but like it was like I think they set it in like 2008, so it was like set a little bit further back from when they shot it because I think the original one was made in like 2016.
Okay.
I think is when they made the original first season.
Okay.
Season 2 is set in the 70s, and it hinges around a case that the dad from season 1 handled when he was a cop.
Got you.
And then season 3 has virtually nothing to do with the previous 2 seasons, but there's like I think there's like a hint of something that ties back in. I don't know. It's weird. I'd have to go back and rewatch them all, but that's kind of another one that's like almost like an anthology series that kind of ties itself together in a little way, but like they did it, in my opinion, they did it really well.
Yeah, you've always loved the show and like loved.
And Ewan McGregor did an amazing job playing like those twin brothers in season 3. That was unbelievable. But no, I guess the point being that I think we're going to talk about Euphoria for like half an hour. But honestly, I think Euphoria
Cassie really stood out for me. Like her acting has been phenomenal in the show, but really what she did last night was just when was that woman not crying and destroyed?
Well, she
and
is.
Like some of her monologues, that monologue that she has with Nate in the bedroom, I was just like, oh. Like
the manipulative
when you see
part of her coming out,
when you see the acting and it gives you chills. She gave me chills last night.
She's scary.
Multiple times she gave me chills.
Yeah,
I read that there was some nude scenes with her that she shot with Sam Livingston that were supposed to come out in season 2, and when they were going over some of the edits, she came back to Sam and was like, "Hey, I don't really think that my character would be naked in this part, or I don't think that." Like that she was having some problems with the nudity in some scenes.
Okay.
And so Sam was like, okay, no problem. We'll take them out. Like right away, he's like, and she said that. She said with no qualms or anything. He was like, if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't think that your actor or your character,
if you don't feel it serves the story,
then it serves me and I won't put it in.
Sweet.
And I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
That is good.
Because there is a lot of nudity in the show and you don't know under what feeling actors get naked or how they really feel about it sometimes, you know? So for her to not feel comfortable or think it's right and then to approach someone and then for them to agree, I thought that was really cool. The other thing I wanted to mention really quick about the show,
No.
was that it's actually based off an Israeli show. And I didn't know this. So there was a show in Israel.
I read that, but
called
I didn't know.
Euphoria.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
That was in like I think from the article that I read in 2012, and it was the same idea. It followed teenagers struggling with sex abuse and all the intricacies of like growing up. And so I didn't know that this is actually just based off of another show, an Israeli show called Euphoria, which is really crazy.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that is good to hear that about the nudity part of it, where especially like as the popularity of this show grows and they like, it's good that the actors feel that they have some ability to kind of like speak up and like talk about that. I don't know, like that dude on the computer that like is like talking to like to Kat or whatever at certain points, like that. I look at, because I watched that episode again last night with Krista where she's like, he wants her to like mock her or whatever, mock him.
Yeah.
Because he's got like a humiliation kink or whatever. Yeah. I look at that and I go like, I wonder if that guy is just like a real person that has that kink, and they just like they've found him and hired him for the show to like, where it's like he to him, like he knows that like he's putting himself in a position where it's like you're literally going to be on an HBO show and there's probably people that are going to make fun of you in a big way based on what you do on the show. And he was probably like, oh my God,
that's my kink.
I'm going to get off so fucking hard.
From the Kardashians to this.
And on that note, it is time to end. Thank you.
If we kept going, oh man.
Thank you for hanging out with us on episode 16 of the MP podcast. Please make sure you subscribe to everything that we're doing. The podcast channel, the main channel, subscribe or follow our Instagram our Instagrams. Also, we have a Facebook page now, so you go follow that, where we're putting up all the stuff. We really want to make, we want to push this in a big way and kind of like bring you guys a whole bunch of entertainment, and your guys' support is what makes that happen. So I thank you to everyone that has already supported us in a huge way
and who reach out to us on a daily to tell us, hey, love that, did that. Like,
please
love that. So
comment, message us to let us know what you think.
Even if you hate it. Do you hate us?
Yeah.
Do you not like us? Are we annoying?
Also, leave reviews on the Apple and Spotify podcast things. Please leave reviews on there. Whether you like us or not, it actually does help the algorithm kind of push us.
Just say that we have sexy voices.
Sure.
Just say we got them.
Daddy's home.
Hey, baby.
How you doing?
We should do an ASMR.
Oh, you want to do an ASMR? Ooh.
Oh my God, the beard pulling out? That would be
yeah. But honestly, again, thank you so much for watching and listening to us babble on about all of this crud. We have so much fun doing it, and I hope you have just as much fun listening to this.
Totally.
For this week's episode of the MP Podcast, I'm Lincoln.
I'm Evan.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.